Hello everybody, my name is Al DePoalo and I'm the Partner Products Manager over here at BobCAD CAM. Today I wanted to take a quick look at the version 25 nesting software and different ways you can use this program. So to begin with, the nesting features are found within the CAM tree, and what you would do is right click on milling stock and you can go directly to nest. Now when you load up a nesting strategy or a nesting feature, the nesting wizard will start up. You'll notice there's a bunch of tabs across the top of the screen here. The first one is select parts, and from here you can either pick from a drawing or you can browse from a directory, and I'll get into that in just a moment. The other thing that I wanted to talk about real quickly is sometimes you want to just nest parts and you don't want to program them. And if you uncheck this dialog box right here, if you uncheck generate toolpath before nesting, what that does is allows you to nest your parts strictly for a CAD file. You'll generate a nested sheet that you can save out as a DXF file. Okay, now the first method that I want to look at here is when you have all your parts preloaded in a single file. Okay, this is maybe not the most common, but one that it does happen quite a bit. You have your parts, all your geometry is chained, it's closed geometry, so you can select it as a chain, and you know, they're all in one drawing file. Now from here again, the workflow is to load in a nest, and then your first option, pick parts from drawing. You can pick your geometry, window everything in, hit your space bar. This will load up all your different parts here. The next step you'd want to take is go to part parameters, and this is where you can set whether the part is a primary part or a part and part. Primary parts are your main shapes. Parts and parts, or PIPs, are the smaller shapes that you may want to fit inside of some of the larger shapes. In this case, they're all primary parts, so we'll choose primary, and we can go down the list here and we can set what our quantity of each of the different parts that we want to nest here. So we're going to just add some numbers in, and we're going to set how many of each of these that we're going to nest or that we want to try to fit on a sheet. The next thing that we can look at is our sheet. We can set our sheet size here. We can do any value that you want. Your Z value here really doesn't apply so much because we're not, in this example, we're not going to generate toolpath, and even if we did, it's not going to look at the height, but you can set the thickness of your stock if you want as well. You can add additional sheets, and you can also remove sheets. Now from here I'm going to uncheck generate toolpath before nesting, so we're going to just use this as for a CAD purpose. We have our distance, our bridge distance. This is the distance between the parts, so we can set that as a value. We have our stock margin. This is the distance away from the outside of the stock or the stock boundary, so we'll add a value there. You also have a fill order, left to right, top to bottom. You have a rotate value. This is the increment in which the parts will be rotated to try to fit with each other. And that's basically it. We go ahead and choose finish, and we'll see our stock sheet come up. And then from here, in order to have the nest be calculated, we right click on nested parts and we hit compute toolpath, and what that will do is compute the nest. It'll take a moment, and then our nested parts will come up on the sheet. Okay, now here you can see we have all our parts on the sheet. If we wanted to edit any of our parts, we can right click and reselect geometry, and we can do that to remove parts from the nest, or we can do that to add additional parts to the nest. The other thing we can do is we can edit our parameters, so if we want to come back in and change the quantity of nest or remove parts from our nest, we can do that as well. Now, because we want to just use this for a CAD purpose in this example, we can go to our sheet, we can right click on our sheet, and we can just export to DXF, and what that will do is export the part to a DXF file, and here you can see we have just the nest in a single file. The other thing we can do is we can click on our sheet and go to our show summary, and this will give us information about the number of parts that made it into the nest and the sheet size and our efficiency rate. All very useful tools. So that was one example of how you can get your parts into a nested sheet. The other example would be to load them in from a directory. So in this case, I'm going to choose Browse, and I'll go to my desktop. Let me see here. Nesting sample. So I'm going to go to my directory. And then from here, we're going to set these to BBCD. And then here are all my files, so I can just select all of these and add those files. So now I've added all my nested parts. And then from here, I can go through and pick my order. So again, whether you're selecting from the screen or selecting from a directory, it's really easy to get your parts in. If you are selecting from a directory, you want to make sure that the parts are saved as just the shapes that you want to nest. No dimensions, no borders, just the primary geometry. Okay, so that's a quick introduction to nesting and ways that you can use it. If there's any questions, please reply back to the thread or the Facebook page or one of the forums. Thank you so much, guys.